So some of the innovations that I hope to see in the next 40 to 50 years are actually things that are currently being used or developed now, but that I think could be improved upon or could be used more because there are obstacles to why they're not being used. My first thing is a solution to one of a really to a really growing problem right now, which is antibiotic resistance, which has been going on since really the beginning of antibiotics. One solution that is kind of possible is phage therapy. So instead of using fungi, which is what many antibiotics now are made of, to kill bacteria and infections, they could use specific viruses that target specific bacteria, because bacteriophages are like bacteria's natural enemy. Research that's been done on this has shown that it's actually more effective than antibiotics, but it's currently not being used in any countries except countries like Russia and I think Poland, because to do this, the bacteria are so specific that they need specific viruses for them. And this requires a lot of bacteriophages to be kind of synthesized for this therapy, and they have to be stored in these places called phage banks. And countries like the US don't think that's safe because it's hard to regulate like the safety, like keeping all these viruses in one building. So hopefully, if they can make some kind of advancement where they don't need the phage banks anymore, maybe a quicker way to synthesize them so they don't have to store them, I think that this therapy could be used, and it would solve the problem of antibiotic resistance. Another thing that's being investigated right now is actually using gene editing in bacteria to take like the most resistant bacteria to antibiotics and replace their antibiotic resistance genes with antibiotic susceptibility genes. But this is obviously in its early stages and it's very expensive and it's time consuming, and hopefully the process will be able to be improved so they can do it. Continuing on with gene editing, techniques like CRISPR-Cas9 and using viral vectors are being developed, and I think these are very important because they can be used to turn on and off different genes that cause different disorders. Right now, single genes are being investigated, like such as in cystic fibrosis, but maybe in the future they'll be able to use, this therapy to turn off and on multiple genes that cause disorders like different kinds of cancers, risks, and maybe like Alzheimer's once they discover what the genetic component is to that. Another thing I hope to see advancements in is robotic surgery. This is kind of a new technology that's seen a lot of success lately in like urological surgeries, gynecological surgeries, colorectal surgeries. Makes the surgery a lot less invasive, cuts down on patient recovery time, narcotic needs of narcotics, contributes to the opioid epidemic. But anyway, hopefully robots that can perform surgery will be improved so that they can be used for all kinds of procedures and not just these main areas. And finally, kind of an unrelated thing I saw that I thought was really neat was people are thinking of creating new kinds of roads that are actually made of a hard type of glass that is actually solar panels, and so the roads generate heat from the sun and they melt snow, so it would eliminate the need for snow plows and snow removal crews, and it would make the roads safer, less car accidents because of snow, and less loss of productivity from snow days and delays and things like that. So those are some of the innovations I would hope to see in the next few decades.